guys, this is John Lorenzo, the youth pastor at Grace City Church, and you're here for part 3 of our series called The Basics, talking about simple things that will help build your youth ministry's culture. And this is part 3 of our series on campus ministry. And today for part 3, I wanted to get into some specifics of high school ministry when it comes to campus ministry. And we have Caleb Konezny with us. He's a guy that's been with us since day 1 of our youth ministry and now oversees all of our high school campus ministry. Caleb, how you doing?
Doing really well.
So today we kind of want to talk about some of the things that you've learned over the years of doing high school, specifically adopting high school campuses.
Right.
Maybe what are some things that we've learned these years?
Yeah, I think the first thing is you have to believe in it. Like, if you don't believe in it, it's not going to work. Like, you have to go into it with the mindset of, like, this is something that we believe in, and it's going to help our student ministry as a result. One thing I wanted to adopt with high school campus ministry was there's no one else coming mindset.
Totally.
Like, there's no one else coming. Like, I'm the person for this school. And you got to kind of have to walk with that confidence and that I guess, like, swagger almost a little bit, because as you start out with it, we don't necessarily know exactly what we're doing. Like, when we first started doing campus ministry 2 years ago, like, we had an idea of what we wanted it to look like, but we didn't actually know what it was actually going to look like. And so if you don't believe in it, the students aren't going to believe in it. And so one thing I always want to tell my team is, like, no, we're going to carry the confidence, we're going to carry the belief in this, and as we go, like, students are going to catch on to that. And so I think the first thing in order to start is you have to believe in it as a campus ministry. You have to believe it as a ministry as a whole, and then you'll start to see some of those things come. The second thing we learned is be relational. Like, if you can't relate to students, you're going to have a hard time doing campus ministry. Like, you're in their world, it's their time. Like, you're in the lunches, you're at the games, you're at practices. And so in order to do campus ministry, you're going to be able to have to relate to them, and they're going to have to be able to feel like they can relate to you. And so one thing I was always telling my team was, we want to be able to relate to the star football player just as much as, like, the random kid that's sitting at the lunch table all by himself. And it's really just a place for anyone. Like, as a youth ministry and as a campus ministry, we just believe that this is a place for anyone. We don't care what you did last night. We don't care what you did this morning. Come and be encouraged for 10 minutes. We're always going to show love to you. It doesn't matter who you are, what you did. We want to be able to relate to the students. And I think once the students start to realize that, once they start to catch that, then you have them. Totally. The hardest part is getting that initial trust of that relationship with the student. And once they get to that point, then it's, like, extremely easy. Because if you think about it, like, if I'm in high school and I just had this random person showing up inviting me to campus ministry or FCA or this time where they're going to get to hear a word, I'll be like, why are you, like, here? Like, this is my time. I'm in school. Like, just leave me alone.
So it's such a relational season of life. I think that's the thing you gotta remember as a youth leader, as a youth pastor. Put yourself in what it was like when you were in high school. Sometimes 100%. I think we're, like, so quick to get out of it. Some of you have already been to college. Some of you have been years since. It's been 10 years since I was in high school. It was a decade since I've been in high school. But I always have to put myself back in that spot of, like, man, there are times in the rhythm of a high schooler's year, in their calendar, in the semester, that if you're unaware of those things, you're just not really going to be able to minister to them. We had that experience a couple weeks ago. We were at one of the teams in our city, played in the state semifinals for football, and I was looking around that arena or around that stadium, and I was like, man, if you're not here and you're trying to reach kids, I don't really know what you're doing this Friday night. Because there was thousands of high school students there, and I'm like, if I was to talk to a kid and they were like, oh, where were you on Friday night? If my answer wasn't at that stadium, I'm like, I don't even know if I'd even be in their world. Like, how would you even relate to them? So I think that's the thing you got to remember. I know that sometimes it's easy to get removed, easy to get in our churches, in our youth ministries, but the closer that I've felt to the lunchroom, the closer that we've felt to what's going on in the teams, I've always felt like our most successful seasons are on campuses as well.
Totally.
It's mostly connected with them.
Yeah, totally. And I think that just goes a long way. Like, if students don't catch that you care about what's going on in their world, they're not going to care to show up to what you want them to show about. Like, and kind of the last point I want to talk about is this spirit of invitation. This idea of, we want to be people that are inviting every single person that is at that school. And so one thing that we do before we actually, like, preach the message is we'll have some time in the lunchrooms and the tables outside of the lunchrooms where we're literally going up to every single table being like, hey, come out to campus ministry, come out and have a chance to hear this. Because like we said before, like, if we don't invite them, we're not going to expect them to just show up on their own. Like, you have to take the initiative. You have to take that extra step of going to every single person and being like, no, like, why wouldn't you be here? Like, this is the coolest thing that we get to do. And over time, it becomes part of culture at the schools. Like, on Fridays, like, it's part of Lakeland High School experience to come to campus ministry on a Friday. And that takes time. But it all starts with the spirit of invitation, though, of getting the invite out there. And students will start to notice that over time.
Totally. I love that mindset, man. I think that anytime we can take that spirit, that's really what our church is built on. We're lucky to be a part of a church that was built on that kind of spirit. So you got to carry the spirit of your church. Our church is a spirit of invitation, so we take that into the schools. And one thing you guys have done such a good job at as well, and I think the years and even the semesters we've been most successful, it's an old point in youth ministry, but you got to get gatherers. You got to get young people that are people that matter in their school, that are influencers in their school. And the times that we've done the best is when we grab those kind of young men and young women and they're jumping in, because the spirit of invitation is contagious. Absolutely. And eventually when our team is carrying that spirit, your young people will carry that spirit as well.
100%. Yeah, I always want to be mindful of who am I interacting with, and who can we get on board as people that like are all about this, leaders and students. Because like you said, once you get the right people, it makes it extremely easy. People get bought in, and it's just a really easy process to keep building on.
Totally. And I know this is a lot of information coming fast, but these are really just some simple things that have worked well for us in high school campus ministry. To give you guys some context, this is not how we would always present ourselves, but in the couple of years we've been there, there's been, Fridays where we have hundreds of young people attending our campus ministry on Friday afternoons during lunchtime. These guys have done such an amazing job, and really our heart as a youth ministry is that would happen in every city across America. So if there's any way that we can connect with you guys, give you insight, love to bounce ideas off of you, we'd love that. And so in the next part of this series, The Basics, we're going to be doing kind of an in-depth dive to our middle school campus ministry as well. So we'd love to see you there.